sponsored by The Block Agency, www.theblockagency.com, Nashville and Denver's premier model and talent agency. Do you like that? I sounded professional, didn't I, Willie? Our guest today is a longtime friend, Mr. Colin Wilson. Colin is a former hockey college star at Boston University, and then many years with the Nashville Predators and Colorado Avalanche. I would say that he followed me to Nashville and I followed him to Denver. Good view of your ear right there, dude. The people can see inside your ear in case Q-Tip wants to sponsor. And I would say, Colin, I guess I met you, your rookie year in Nashville? I mean, you were here, you got here not long after I was here, and I remember when I first started going to Preds games, the fans kind of didn't really understand the game. And now, people in Nashville seem to really kind of love hockey, follow hockey. The arena is known as one of the best places and loudest places to play.
Yeah.
I feel like when we all met, I don't think I even realized you guys played. No one realized what each other did. We were just like the same people that hung out in the same corner of the bar. And
yeah, it was cheers. It was cheers for Nashville, without a doubt. It was the watering hole that we all went to, and great live music. And I mean, it was a crew, and it was before Nashville turned into what it turned into. And I hate being that person, but that it was the spot. It was the OG spot for sure.
We were Nashville, and Nashville wasn't cool. And by the way, great use of tying everything in, throwing cheers from Boston and with Nashville, and kind of keeping. Next thing you know, we're gonna have a Tim Hortons reference, and we're gonna go full circle with Canada.
I'm sure I always find a way to throw in Tim Hortons into a conversation. Doesn't matter what we're talking.
What is your order at Tim Hortons? What's your go-to?
Just a vanilla latte. I honestly, man, I barely even drank coffee when I was in Canada. I'm like straight up, I don't know. I'm a Brooklyn guy now, going to Blue Bottle and Sunnyside, all these nice little boutique places.
The evolution of Colin Wilson is probably greater than the evolution of Nashville. Basically like a hockey frat bro at 19 that I was sneaking into the tin roof through the back door and south down the road, or maybe losers. And now he is a hipster living in Brooklyn, dating a model and going to bougie places and drinking $15 lattes, farmed on a commune in some place where name we can't mention. It's like a new person.
No, my coffees now cost as much as my sleeping bag in college, so it's certainly an evolution.
And they probably take longer to make.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I have a good hockey question for you, since even though Nashville has evolved as good hockey fans, I would say probably 99.74% of Americans, even the ones that like hockey and follow hockey, don't understand hockey. The one question I feel like, and I've asked you this before, and I've asked Balls, and I've asked everybody, and I still probably don't understand it. How the hell do you guys know when to go on the ice? Like when to switch shifts? Like, is there like a timer? Is there someone like on the bench? Like, y'all just know, like, okay, our line's jumping on. Like, there's no like anything. Like,
Yeah.
Is there for hockey dummies? Is there an explanation you can give?
Yeah. Great question, Mark. I think the coach will say who's up next. So you get like the lines. So the centerman, there's 4 lines. The D are doing pretty much the same thing, but there's 4 lines, 4 centermen. So let's go with Johansson, one of the Preds, the top Preds center right now. So it'd be like, Johansson, your line.
What's up, Ryan?
Yeah, your line is up, and then when his line is up, you are automatically dialed in to your position. So if I'm a left winger, I'm looking at the line that's out there, that left winger, and I just start following him around the ice. And whenever he gets tired and he decides to change, I'm already dialed into him. So I'm watching him come to the bench and I'm going out. So that's that is the way it goes. Yeah.
So there's like there's subtle cues that you look for. You guys just know when to jump in.
Yeah, I mean the coach. Yeah, so then you start seeing, like, typically players change at a time when it's safe. So like you're aware of when the player's reading that it's safe out there and you're reading it. But I mean, truly, it just comes to like, can you hold your own attention for the 40 seconds that the other player's out there when the coach says that you're up next? Like once that happens, you just have to be ready to go.
Nice. Okay. See, we're now an educational program in sports. I think that was one of the better answers that I've heard to explain it. So we're educating a whole new generation of Nashville Predators fans, fans. Um, so back to like living in Nashville and your time here, what would you say were some of your favorite memories of Nashville
Favorite memories.
that you can say on a PG-13 podcast?
No, for sure. Um, no, I mean, truly, I mean, when you go back, you start like Tin Roof is fantastic. Like it really was. It's some of my most fond memories and having good times. And then, like you mentioned, the Stanley Cup Finals coming out. Like looking back, I probably should have started going out the other way. Like that Lexus Lounge, I had to say hello to like 40 people, and everybody was drunk. And it took me. I was the last guy out of the rink because I'd been playing there for 8 years, and I like knew everybody in that place. So it was cool. You know, that was obviously a pretty cool um, run to be a part of. But it's hard to like crack that. You know, bring it down to like one event when everything just was pretty fantastic throughout. You know, my time in Nashville. It was just great people, a great vibe. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I obviously had a couple parties at my house that I really enjoyed as well. So it's you know, all those things just kind of added
I,
up.
I honestly still to this day think that you may have gotten traded because of how rowdy your group that came into the Lexus Lounge was every game during that Stanley Cup run.
100%. And I mean, my girlfriend at the time was like the mayor of it all. It was crazy. And my mom was there. She's like another mayor, very, um, very in your face, loud and social person. And I'm sure the GM was looking like, shouldn't you be going to bed? And I had to stay in a bar essentially after the game for another 30, 40 minutes. So
And for those listening that don't know, the Lexus Lounge is under Bridgestone Arena where the Preds play. It's open bar, full spread. It's kind of for the VIPs. Got shrimp, crab legs, pizza station, really good. And a bunch of us that were friends with Colin that were in there legitimately would have quite the good time and do shots every time they scored. And you were supposed to go down in between periods, and sometimes we wouldn't make it back up to the ice. And I would say I was famous during that time for rocking the Preds onesie.
yeah,
Um, and I will say every single time I wore the onesie, the Preds won. They never lost, and I was always very nervous about when I'd wear the onesie, and it was good luck, and I just didn't wear it that one last time.
yeah.
So I blame myself for Lord Stanley not being paraded down Broadway. But literally after our run in the Lexus Lounge, miraculously, or not miraculously, sadly, Colin was traded soon after. So
Yeah.
I do think that that may have played a part.
There are quite a few factors going into that decision. I am sure that that was a part of it.
So, okay, one of the things we like to talk about here and give people tips on is traveling, you know, because in addition to my Instagram being at the blog agency, I have actually travel tips. Do you like to travel? You've been on some cool vacations. What is your favorite place outside of, you know, Manitoba that you've been able to go and enjoy?
Yeah. Um, to be a to be a hippie slash I don't know trendy and I haven't been back in a while, but Tulum was pretty fantastic for me the couple times that I went. Um, the one time I went, I didn't even know like we got to our hotel, checked in, and they're like, "Hey, just let you know we're having a little party," and it was like Mayan Warrior, which heads Burning Man, and it was like a
Ooh.
yeah, it started at 12 and it was a sunrise party, so it went to 10:30 in the morning. And it was pretty that was pretty crazy, but the food there, the vibe, it's all pretty good. I think people are beginning to get slightly sick of it, so that was good. Really enjoyed that Exumas, but if you do the Exumas more at a like again like a smaller hotel, which is actually cheaper than the big hotels, and you can kind of like island bounce, and the water is very clear. So those are two good ones, two favorites for me.
Where's your go-to hotel in Tulum? I mean, it seems like it probably now, like you said, is a little played out. People are kind of looking for the next hot spot. But for people still looking to go to Tulum, where's your go-to stay?
Yeah, I don't know if it's I still don't think it's played out, but I think it's just people know of it now more. So the Nomade, which is at the end of the strip, and then Habitas, Habitas.
I
Those,
love how you're saying it like a local. Very
yeah, no,
nice
man,
with
I
the
am. I mean,
pronunciation.
I spent 2 weeks there. I'm surprised I didn't come back with an accent. So it's
You
yeah,
haven't.
yeah, no, it's those were two good places. It's pretty friendly vibe for sure.
Another question. I don't think I've ever asked you this. I don't know the answer to it. So obviously, you went from living in a sleeping bag to being the number 7 pick in the NHL draft. What was your first kind of fun I have money purchase? Did you like splurge on anything cool? When I'm sure you did because you were 19.
Um, yeah, I mean, I did like a pretty basic thing, um, which was just buy a Range Rover, which
So
I got rid of. I got rid of like I bought it and then 4 months later I got rid of it because I was just like I don't know why I need this, and I went and got a four-door Jeep that I drove and put 110,000 miles on because that's more me. Like first I was like I guess I have to have this really nice car, and then so that was kind of my splurge. I actually got turned away from a Cadillac dealership in Nashville because I asked to test drive, and the guy's like, "Can you afford it?" and
oh, you're like Julia
yeah,
Roberts in Pretty Woman, like big
yeah,
mistake.
yeah, he gave me one of those, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I can." And then he figured out I played for the Preds and was was apologetic, but it was a pretty funny story early on in my career. I mean, I looked like a 19-year-old punk too, so I can't really blame the guy.
He probably thought it was some like second year at UT, like a Rocky Top kid coming in just for a joyride.
Yeah, he was just bored, taking a break from his classes, and wanted to get a ride in.
Although not many people at Rocky Top say A with a Canadian accent, so that should have been the giveaway in Nashville that maybe you played hockey A. So
Yeah.
now life is in Brooklyn. Besides $19 coffees, tell us about Brooklyn. Like, what do you enjoy? What's life like? You take the subway, like grown man stuff. Like, what that's a big change from Nashville and Denver.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely yeah, it's a shift, and I obviously I wish that COVID wasn't happening at this time because it'd be a better experience. But I'm living in Williamsburg right now. It still has like I mean, if you leave and go to the grocery store, still feel as though you've accomplished something because you just see so many people and there's so much going on that it just has that like New York City vibe to it. And Williamsburg has that trendy feel to it, and we're right on the water, so I get to every day I go for a little walk and it's all along the pier and you get to see or the boardwalk and you get to see, the skyline, which is it's pretty cool. It's funny how close of a feeling it is to waking up in Denver and seeing the mountains, but it's like a different type of beauty or a different type of feel to it. Like obviously one's industrial, one's mountainous nature, but it's still like you wake up and you're like, wow, that's pretty immaculate. So that's kind of what's happening in Brooklyn.
So where of all the places you've lived would you say is the one that like is your favorite or where you think you're gonna end up, or is it somewhere you haven't been yet, or just gonna try some new places every couple of years, or what's on the horizon?
I don't know. I mean, I'm terrified of commitment. I'm talking to my therapist about it, but I think I'll figure out maybe, maybe I don't know. I like New York because we've been doing upstate stuff, like going to cottages and renting them, and like that's more my vibe. And it's kind of cool how you can be in the biggest city in the world, um, and then you can like go upstate and go to a cottage. Obviously, you can do the more trendy thing and go to Montauk too, but I don't know. I didn't make that kind of money in my career where I can sustain that. So,
You
yeah,
were a
I'm
Hamptons guy
beginning.
this summer though, right?
I was reluctantly. It's not going to be sustainable for me. Not just. It's a weird vibe. I like getting away and like getting to nature, and that was like enjoying the beach and I don't know, but at the same time, like looking at everybody's Bentley pulling up and it's a weird, it's very cool, but it's a weird vibe at the same time. So I don't know. I mean, if we do a podcast in a year and I have a Hamptons house, I guess we'll just deal with that then. But yeah,
Can we do
that's my
season 2 of Nashville Block Party in the Hamptons at your Hamptons house?
yeah. I mean, it'd be a write-off too if you do it there. So maybe I can get it half off.
There we go. We'll bring like Billy Joel and Martha Stewart and all the like
Oh
Bethany
yeah,
Frankel, all those celebs. We'll get them on. We'll be big guests. We'll
yeah.
blow this thing up.
Oh yeah. Martha's number 6 on my speed dial.
The funny thing is, I know you're kidding, but it would not shock me if we told me you were. Hey
Yeah, I
Martha,
know.
what's
You just
up?
never know.
You just never know with you. You just meet the most random people. I love that you were talking about seeing your therapist and you're going for a psych degree because I could see you like week 3 of class at BU going back into therapy and like questioning back your psych teacher about or
Oh
your actual therapist about that you did that wrong or are you trying to figure this out about me? I think you're gonna be
no.
like that guy.
I obviously made a joke about the therapist thing, but I do therapy as well. And no, I 100%. Yeah, no, I quit. I mean, I don't quiz her, but yeah, certainly when I'm going into a certain realm where I'm like, oh, you're trying to relieve trauma right now, or like, which is it that you're trying to do, or like, what approach should I help you with here, and not like help, but like, which way should I go into this? So it does certainly add another element to therapy, but it's fun.
And in all seriousness, we're not making fun of going to therapy. It's a great thing, and we're very pro mental health here. So just want to make that clear so we don't get people on Twitter saying that we're, saying something wrong. It's 2021 again. I'm making sure we're covering all our bases.
No,
It's a
I
great
wrote an
thing,
article.
and we're encouraging others to do it.
Yeah, no, I might have even written an article about it. You certainly cannot get me on record saying that that help is bad. So I think
No, help is great.
you're
Wait, where did
covering
you write an
everything.
article? Where did you write an article?
Players Tribune.
Oh, that's right. I did know about that. I read it. It's actually a fantastic article. I texted you right after and told you how great I thought it was. So if people aren't familiar with it, the Players Tribune, go read Colin's article. It really does focus on mental health, and it was well written. Kudos to you for doing that. Every once in a while, even me and Colin can get serious and talk about real topics. If you only saw our text messages, you would know that it's more often than you would think. Um, Not always as polite though. Anyway, with that said, want to thank you for coming on. We love technology. That it's funny because I mean we used to see each other all the time in Denver and then Nashville before that. So this has probably been the longest we haven't been in the same city in a while. After everything. So I appreciate you doing the show and you know, if there's any parting words of wisdom you want to leave to all our listeners, drop some knowledge on them.
I got nothing on the spot. I think
Yeah, I figured
yeah,
like that
thanks.
was that was not fair of me to do that too.
No. I mean I could throw some stuff out. What do you want to hear? Like some Carl Jung or some Shakespeare?
Go for it, dude. I want to hear you go for it. I
Man,
want to hear where you're going.
finally, we were hitting the topic of conversation I want to talk about.
Well,
So,
go. Let's go. Let's go. We got time. We got time. Tell us. Give us a quote. Give us something deep. You are one of the deeper people I know.
yeah, like a
Before
puddle,
surface.
like a puddle. That's all I got. No, that's all I got. That we'll touch on that conversation next podcast. But no, good being on, and uh, yeah, man, good friendship over the years. Glad we're finally bringing our conversations out onto a podcast.
For the world to hear. They only can eavesdrop on the real ones. So, well, thanks
Yeah,
again. Appreciate having you. Say hi to Veronica and enjoy Brooklyn, and I'll talk to you soon.
I shall. Thank you.
Peace.